Hello and welcome. I am Christian from Berlin, and I just realized how many subscribers I attracted through my cocktail piano videos, especially the first one. It's massive, it's huge. So I thought I better deliver, because otherwise you might be leaving. Well, it's a blues channel, but now more regularly I will deliver for you. And also my repertoire, I will skip the pop songs and integrate more songs that are of use to you, like jazzy standard songs. The bluesified songs is also good for you. So what is for you? The pop piano tutorials are also for you, because in cocktail piano we also use pop elements. They're a bit more sugary than what a jazz pianist would use. But we use them also in cocktail piano fills and stuff. So they are for you. Let's go, and thank you very much for being on board, all of you. Now let's get to this dry theory. It's good for you, believe me. A little bit of theory is good. So you find yourself in a position where you are dealing not just with blues chords, but with all sorts of chords, like major chords, minor 7 chords, like 7 chords, dominant 7 chords. And this is about showing you where they come from and where they belong in the context of a chord progression. So just to give you an overview of what you're doing there and what this is, because then you can much easier understand all these small details, and you put them into this grid of rough theory, and it's good to know things. It's good to feel competent, and I'm going to make you just a little bit more competent today. What is a key? Very basic question. What is a key? Can you answer it? You have 2 seconds. Over. A key I found in music is a space in which the elements fit together. It's a tonal space that to our ear is like shaping a family. We have the C major key, but we have also other keys, like for example we have the E major key, which is a space on its own where they fit together. If you just write them, play them over each other, it would sound wrong. And I like to compare this with a language, where you have a language like German, and the keys are the vocabulary. And as long as you stay within German, it's fine. You can do poems, or you can do manuals for nose hair cutters. It's still all German, and the words fit together. And if I would suddenly speak like French over it, like let's say E is French, that's pretty hard to understand. So it behaves in a way like languages. Even if on C we have different languages, like C blues, we have different vocabulary for C blues. Different words. You could say it's a dialect of C, but it's even a different language, because as you can tell we have fewer words, and the words are also different. So it just doesn't fit like that over each other. Or we have to work on it to make it somehow fit. Like in Germany we also say Coca-Cola. It's an American word, but it somehow fits in. So you can somehow mix, but for now a key is a fixed space of elements that fit together to our ear, to our culture. We have other cultures and other people who have different scales, not the major scale. And again, it's a different vocabulary. We have pentatonics, and we have all sorts of stuff. Today, and in jazz, we deal with the Western European, that's where it originates, as far as I know, the 7-step major scale. So where here do the chords come in? Don't see any chords. A short history lesson. First, there were no chords. If you go back to Gregorian chants, if you have a time machine to the Middle Ages, late Middle Ages, they were just singing monophonic melodies like la, la, la. You see how beautiful it is. So they didn't have any idea about chords. And then somebody sang like, and then he said, François, sing another tone while I sing this. I said, you must be crazy. And then, okay, I do it. And then they figured out they could even sing two notes at the same time. And they thought, you stay on that tone. I said, la, 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 la. Great. Get in Claudia. And she sang, do you do something? And it was just random at the beginning. And then they figured out that some things fitted better. It was just trial and error. And so it was trial and error and experience. And from there on, we had the first experiments with chords in the following Renaissance, where you have all these Italian composers who were, it was really quite jazzy sometimes, and tried different chords. And only then a theory developed. Only after the experience comes the theory in music, which is very different to, let's say, physics, where Einstein predicted the gravitational waves in 1920, I believe, and he figured that out just by prediction with mathematics. And then he said, go and wait. And then 5 years ago, they found them. So that's why I always say, if people ask me, am I allowed to play this note, Christian master of space and time? And I say, does it sound good? Is the experience good? Yes, then bloody play it. So it's the experience first, and what sounds good finds its way into the theory in music. It has to sound good. So there's no rule except ears. Okay, that's really important to know, because I get this question quite often. And here we are with the first system. So they figured out that this construction sounds good. If you have between notes, you have a distance of a third, major third and minor third, and they didn't call it like coconut or Christian, they called it chord. And now somebody said, let's put a system in it and put one chord on each of these scale notes. On C, which they also gave a name, if we are in the key of C, we have the different steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps, and the chord on the first step of a key they called gin tonic. Now they call it tonic, of course. And then they went on with the things, and they put the system of triads on each step of the major scale, and they found this is a minor chord. On the third one they found it's also a minor chord. On the third one they found it's a major chord. On the fifth they found, and so on. We are interested in one more, because we're not in the Renaissance anymore. We are on Christian's channel 2020. And we are dealing with tetrachords, where they added a fourth note. Tetra means 4. Like Tetra Pak, you know that, where your cheap wine is. The one you're drinking right now. It's a Tetra Pak, because it has it has 8 corners, but it has 4 sides. Now, 4 notes. And if we add a third on these triads, we get a different chord type. We get the major as before with the major 7. And we're going to have a look at those. Those are important now. Now you got to wake up. Pay attention. The tonic of the C in the space of the key of C major is a C major 7 chord. The second step is a minor 7 chord. It's a minor triad plus a minor 7. It's a minor 7 chord. The third one is the same. Again, the minor triad with a minor 7 is a minor 7 chord. The fourth one is, again like the first one, it's a major 7 chord. By the structure, the 4 and the 1 are identical. Now we have a special and very important candidate. He only exists once. The 7th chord on G, in this case the G7, which is also called the dominant 7th chord. Why is it called the dominant? Because if you take the C major chord and in any triad, what do you think the dominant, the subjectively loudest note is? Right, it's always the upmost, is that right? The top note. That's why the melody is always to the right and not singing down there, because we want to hear the melody. So, in the C major triad, the G is the dominant note, and let's call it just short, dominant. So we have again the tetrachord here, and it's the dominant 7th chord, which is very important because it has the unique ability and sound to dissolve into its tonic. This is C, it's an inversion of C now, into the tonic. And music makes a lot of use of that. It's the most important chord. Then we have this step 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A, and it's again a minor 7 chord. Minor 7 chord, minor triad with the minor 7. So we have, of those we have 3. We have it on the 3, on the 2, and on the 6. 3 types of the same. And on the 7 we have the so-called half diminished, and it's 2 minor thirds and a major third, half diminished chord. We don't care so much about this one now. We will encounter this one later in the minor key, where it's more important. Okay? So now you know already how these different chord types, major chord, minor chord, come about. That's the birth of these chord types. So it's probably the first time you are witness to a birth. I've seen the birth of my own son, and it's been a beautiful moment, and I hope this moment was just as beautiful for you. Then, they also, by experience, by listening and trying, they found out that some of those chords sound better together than others. For example, if I play just the C and the half diminished, that doesn't go for a really nice piece, does it? Fail. Now, they figured out that some are closer related than others. And the closest relationship is the one, as I said before, the tonic and the dominant 7, the 5. We have to go now at a certain speed because we have to manage some material. So that is the closest relationship between the 1 and the 5, because this is like it's wants so badly go back to Mama, which is tonic, Mama tonic, or in the 80s in England it was Mama with gin tonic. So it was the 5 back to the tonic. So it's a relationship of a 5th. Now you have also the relationship of a 5th downwards, which is an F. So obviously the 5th relationship is a very close one. It's like Mama and Daddy and Kid. We have Mama, Daddy, Kid. And so the 1, the 4 and the 5 has been the all-time basic supreme chord progression for hundreds of years. And this is why this also got a special name called the subdominant. Sub means below, and with the dominant, and just below the dominant, the subdominant, and the tonic. First chapter done. We have the basic family, the supreme leader, the supreme leading chord progression. So from here we go on. So at some time they found, come on, it's a bit boring, isn't it? It's like everyday gin tonic. Gotta have a whatever, a nice malt whiskey in between. And so they figured out that some are also really nice together. And they figured out, and now, wake up again. Hey, focus, get up. Is the, if we go from the F, a minor third down, we are, you remember the second step, the D minor 7. So, now it's becoming interesting for us that this second step is also really nice together with the tonic, I'm getting all confused, the dominant 7th chord and the tonic. So 2, 5, 1, and here we go. Da, 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 da. With a major chord. Well, it was strange. Goody. So now we are here. 2, 5, 7. Of course, the 4 was in jazzy classic songs. You can call them standards. They're called standards. The 4 is almost always replaced by the 2. So the 2, 5, 1 is the most common chord progression in jazz standards. And it also has a lot of representatives in pop music. But in pop music we also have the 4 a lot. Anyway, we're dealing now with the 2, 5, 1. And to just, not to confuse you, because now you're looking at your sheet and you see very often like something like D minor 7, G7, and again D minor 7, G7, like. Oops, there's no 1, it's 2, it's 2, 5, and goes somewhere else. So that means a progression does not have to have the tonic in it. We don't have to go home in a progression to the 1. Why is that? Again, it comes from experience that if we don't give the 1, it has a flowing effect. We don't always resolve, like 2. I can make it easier for you without the voicings, like 2, 5, 2, 5, and then very often they go straight into another progression from another key, and that's what we're going to look at now. Well, this is actually the point where the book or the usual tutorial on harmonies and stuff would go on with the same in the space of the minor key. But my aim was a different one. We're coming to that now. If you like this, you give a like, and I can tell that you want more of this, and that at some point we deal with the minor stuff. I'm aiming to close again with what I began with the key thing. Now you're grabbing your first piece, and it might be Loverman from the old standard sung famously by Billie Holiday, and it goes like. So it's D minor, G7, so it's 2, 5, D minor, and G7, the 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, and it goes on. G minor. The key, the song is in, I think it's in F, but the first chords imply C. You have D minor 7, G7, you know this is the 2-5 of C. Suddenly something weird happens. There is a B showing up. Before we had this one here. And now it's, we have G minor 7 with a very different fellow here. Something is happening here. And this is what I'm heading for, and this is what I'm closing with, because this will lead you to confusion. Because all of a sudden it seems the key is changing. Because G minor 7 and C7 is another 2-5. You will need some routine to figure that out quickly, but so I'm shortcutting. If we take F and build the scale on F, we do the same chord things. We have also the same model with the tetrachords. And on F, the 2 is the G minor 7, and the dominant 7th chord is C7. So, does it change the key now? And my answer is yes, no. No, yes. Yes, no. Maybe. And here comes something very interesting. A song is staying in one key. There is a general feeling of your stomach that a song has to be in one key only. And you can tell the key in 99.9% from the final chord. The final chord is your helper to find out the key of a song. It's not the beginning chord, like in this song. The song is in F, but it starts with D minor 7. But it's finishing in F. Here, F, that's the finish. Within this song is standard and also classical pieces, and also some pop songs. They do what is called in classical a modulation. That means they drag you to, I put this now in these here, into different keys. They lead your ears to different keys by the nose. I like that. I love that. Take that down. Write that down. You can take the ears and lead them by the nose. Only so to sort of hijack you. Let's go here. Let's put you through this door, and then they land you safely in Mama's lap at the tonic of the key of the song. So if this is now the 2-5 of C, 2-5 of F, all of a sudden, aren't we in the key of F because you said then the F is the tonic? We give it a different name. The song has one key, but in the book from where I learned it, these sub keys, if you want so, can be called also the tonal centers. So the song is in F, but the tonal center, in a way, the transitory key is the tonal center, is in this case D minor 7, G7 is C. Then we have the G minor 7 and C7 is the tonal center, is, I don't know what it's called in your language, I learned it as tonal center or harmonic center, is F. It's modulating, and sort of that's the art of writing a good song, is leading your ear to places that are new and, oh, that looks like on a holiday. So now I hope to settle to resolve the confusion why it's all these different chords and they have suddenly there is a sharp or a B flat in between. These are tonal centers. You see, theories are there to be bent or broken even for a little while. So music is not a science or composing music, but about creativity. Where can I bend Christian's lovely theory? And there are remarkable songs that do just that. But that's not today's topic. So it's all about system and getting out of the system. And that's what music is about. So I hope I could give you a first insight into the underlying structure of it all. And maybe you even want more. Maybe you quite like a little bit of theory, because it gives the whole thing meaning and structure. So thanks for learning. I hope the tempo was okay for you. Of course, there's much more, but there's also many more years ahead. And I say thanks for watching and bye-bye from Germany. I hope you liked my video and that you learned something. Now you can subscribe. Just press this subscribe button or click on another of my videos on this side. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.